Can you use Shiny Nidoking in GSCOU? The easy answer, no, in the video. But let's go dive a little deeper. There is a very distinct reason why you will not see shinies in GSC. That's because they lower your DVs, which are your IVs in later generations, except DVs have a bit more substantial effect. And Hidden Power, like for example, Hidden Power Fire lowers your DVs by a ton. Hidden Power Fire in newer generations lowers them by a little bit. And these DVs do have a very substantial change in like rolls and stuff. Like Hidden Power Electric Cloyster cannot always survive Machamp Cross Chop, but non-Hidden Power Electric Cloyster can. And I remember there's like a roll with Raikou if it's Hidden Power Water with like I think it's maybe some Earthquake, or maybe it's a Gengar or Hidden Power Water roll. But it changes up rolls substantially and lowers your bulk by a pretty decent amount. And that's what being shiny does. But why am I making this video then? Well, there might be a specific case where you can get away with using Shiny Nidoking. This is going to be an episode Optimizing the Badmon. I like that title. Optimizing the Badmon, Shiny Nidoking. Yeah. So, we're probably going... We can go lefties, of course. But we might revisit that item in a bit. Hint, hint. So, Shiny Nidoking. Surely it's not that much worse. It's substantially worse. Like, you drop your special attack and your HP and your special events and your speed. Yeah, Nidoking's speed, which is really important. Now you lose the tie to other Nidoking. Actually, let's look up a base 80. Let's compare it to its Cloyster. Okay, you're not slower than Cloyster. That would be really embarrassing. You lose the speed tie to Misdreavus. There are no base 80s, right. So maybe you can get away with the speed. Because there's nothing... Well, Heracross always outspeeding you isn't fun. But it's like you lost every single speed tie. Dragonite, actually that is a, oh, that sucks. You speed tie with Dragonite. And instead of ice beaming it, it can potentially ice beam you. That is quite unfortunate. But you can get away with it, because Dragonite is not particularly common. You speed tie with Meganium. Loop this. But anyone else? Meganium, you speed tie now. Venusaur, you speed tie now. So you can get away with that. Now then. So, like, the speed tier isn't as substantial. Like, speed ties change around. You're basically, effectively, base 80 speed instead of base 85. But that HP bulk difference means you're taking a chunk more from Zapdos's Thunderbolt, not Thunderbolt, HP Ice. And your special attack is significantly worsened. Look at Zapdos. 33 to 39 instead of 34 to 42. You can live with that. You can actually live with that. For Spadef. And you do barely avoid the 2-hit KO. It's 32% chance after spikes. Whereas, yeah, you don't get KO'd with spikes in the picture if you are not shiny. So, our game plan for using this mod has to include spikes not being up. So where are we going to use this mod? Well, I think Nidoking has a quaint little trick it can pull. You see, when someone sees that you're a shiny, using shiny to GCO you, and they know that shinies drop your DVs, they're like, oh, it's a bad player, you gotta be dead, they don't know what they're doing. We can turn this to our advantage. Of course, don't do this in like a tournament play, but like maybe a room tour. And Nidoking has a particular set. Yeah. Counter King. You see, Nidoking can EV itself. Yes, EVs in GSC by lowering its EVs and DVs to the point where Zapdos, so normally counter Nidoking does around 70 something percent. 70 like 8. Depends on power rolls. So it doesn't always kill. You need to take 92 damage to kill a full health Zapdos. Max roll, which is 52% on our shiny Nidoking, which is 50%, sorry. We had an incorrect HP DV, is barely, like, it's barely killing us, potentially, but it's not, that's not hitting 92%. I mean, what 92? 190. The highest we can take is 176. So, what happens if we lower our our EVs to the point where we have 186 Badef? Right there. Down to 44. Well, because of how GSC mechanics works, we have to crank our special attack EVs down as well. $206. The calculator is weird, so we have to put in numbers until we get to about 206. 206. So, what is 206 special attack damage due to Cloyster with Thunder? That is depressing. So definitely don't run Thunder on this set. But since we're lowering it so that we get the so that we get the one-hit kill on Zapdos with hidden power, we don't need Ice Beam. So we can potentially run something like Toxic. I think Toxic's quite reasonable. Here's why. Or Roar. Roar is also decent. Or Rock Slide. But say we match up against a Cloyster lead, because we will be leading this Nidoking. That is part of our game plan. Cloyster switches in fear of Lovely Kiss. We Toxic a Zapdos. Zapdos is just gonna hidden power you. It just like makes him less worried about Lovely Kiss stuff. I don't know. It's just spitballing. But like, we don't want to LK first turn. That's the thing. You don't want to Lovely Kiss a Zapdos because you can't counter a Slept hidden power. So maybe we go Protect. Maybe we go Protect. We Protect on lead Cloyster. Maybe we go Rock Slide. Maybe we go Surf and just Particle them. We could also potentially do I don't think Substitution has any value on this set. We could potentially do Morning Sun, but this Nidoking is not going to be sticking around. Too bad Disable is 55% accuracy. I quite like that move. We could also do Fire Blast, which is kind of fun, because I think Fire Blast still kills Fortress. 4E. Fire Blast. Come on, calculator. I believe in you. Yes! Oh, it's barely a guaranteed OHKO. So we could do that. But here's what I'm thinking. We go Miracle Berry so that we can counter sleep something. Maybe we go Thief because we burn a Miracle Berry and then Thief something. Could also go Curse. I think Protect is maybe most consistent. Just to scout intentions. You see, we could just if this was a normal Nidoking, we could just run normal Miracle Berry and run Thunder, and then scare out a Cloyster lead, and Ice Beam the Zapdos, and then counter it. But this Nidoking has the advantage of, in the first turn lead matchup against Zapdos, you click counter and it just dies. It's gone. It is done. So whatever this last move is, maybe Morning Sun. We can try Morning Sun. Maybe you Morning Sun up against something else, and then you can counter something. Again, I don't know. I don't know at all. Maybe Thief. Kind of try and get a 2-for-1 out of this thing. But this whole set is just a big bluff. Good music. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what we're going with. Is currently we'll go with Thief. Maybe Roar is okay, but like... This is essentially a non-mon, other than... Like, it's just horrible until you get the counter on Zapdos. But this is decent. We can try it. And it's a shiny Nidoking. So this is optimizing the Garbomon. Shiny. Shiny. Now what kind of team do you build around this? That's your choice. I'm not going to build it for you. This is optimizing the Garbomon. Your job is to build with it. Ideally, in the comment, you put your what mon you pair it with. You could do, like, I'm happy to give the basic structure and potential suggestions. Because, like, Vappy really appreciates a dead Zapdos. So does, Heracross, but Heracross requires anti-Skarmory support, which this does not have. Yeah. Maybe even Dragonite. Double base 80s. Base 80 speed mons. Dragonite doesn't love Electric's living. Tentacruel is fine with their immediate removal. I'm a huge fan of double poison on this channel, as you can tell from my previous videos. But yeah. Of course, you can go Cloyster, Zapdos, Snorlax, normal Risen Phaser, +1. Or you can try something a little more spicy. I don't know. But I sure do want to hear any ideas that you come up with. But that is a potential case scenario where using a shiny Nidoking or shiny mon in GSC is not so much worse than using the actual mon, than using the non-shiny variant. So if you ever really want to to use a shiny on ladder, use lead shiny Nidoking, counter Lovely Kiss Earthquake +1, Miracle Berry, 44 special attack, 44 special defense, 8 HP EVs, DVs, 10 defense EVs, DVs, 10, 10, 10. Otherwise, it's not valid because of how shiny mechanics work and how EV mechanics work. So, that was our first episode of optimizing the Garbomon.